Hello, my name's Franklin Malero. I'm going to do a quick demo of the drawing-based estimator tool that I've created for Veloso Tile. So really the pain point that this application is addressing has to do when building quotes for contracts, for renovation contracts that Veloso Tile bids on. And so in the past, these quotes were created just based off of memory of what types of materials would be required for, different rooms and different areas um, that they'll be working on. And the problem is that when you're doing it based off of memory, sometimes you can miss things. And in this case, if you're submitting a quote with some missing information and you're awarded the contract, then you're kind of on the hook for any missing materials, which ends up chewing away at your profit. So that was the purpose of this tool here. So we'll just go in and have a quick look at what we've put together. This is not by any means the finished product. It's I would say this is a version past the prototype. Most of it is working, but there'll probably most likely be some enhancements done to this. But it's a great starting point. So you see on the left-hand side here, we got dashboards, global calendar, projects, jobs, quotes, invoices, and templates. So ultimately, that's what it is. You have a project, and within the project, you'll have your jobs, which are it's for every area that you're doing a renovation. You'll have a job, and then apply all of the materials that will be required for that specific renovation. And once you have your jobs listed, you'll be able to create a quote. And if the quote's approved, you'll be able to create an invoice from it. The template section is specific to the jobs. So in this case is that if you've got a lot of materials to add and you're constantly always adding the same ones, you can create templates and just apply it to that. So we'll go a bit into each one of these sections. So you'll see like on the dashboard, so right now, all this information that's in here also is not real information. So there's no sensitive information showing here. We've got 4 total projects currently in here, 6 jobs that we've created, 14 quotes that we've issued, and 8 invoices. So obviously these numbers don't make sense because it's test data. And underneath is where you can actually get a bit more information on each of the projects. These are also clickable. So if I go here, it'll actually show me the 4 projects that I've created. Same thing for quotes, all of the quotes and their status on whether they've been approved or just at the draft status, for example. And like the invoices, whether they've been paid or simply sent. So this is good. Then we've got the global calendar. So each project has its own calendar, but we also have a global calendar. And the idea here is you can add some events to the global calendar that won't show in the project calendars. But this could be, you could specify that you've got a deadline for submitting a specific quote. Anything really that you think is important for you to capture at kind of at the high level. So if we go into the projects, so I have a few here. Let's do like Highlands, for example. So when you're creating a project, this is the information here that you'd be able to enter, which is like, the address of the place, who's your contact person, which in the end will be the person that you'll be sending your quote or your invoice to. But if that does change, you don't have to go back in here and change this information. You're actually able to change it before you send it out. But this is pretty much the details you're able to enter. And so for every project, there's 4 key sections. So you have your jobs, which is where you'll actually be able to specify all the materials that you'll need to include in your quotes. You have a document section in case, so if they've provided you some floor plans, you'll be able to upload them here and have them specific to your project. Then any quotes that you've actually submitted for your project will be here. And here's the project level calendar. So here is where you can add some specific events that you want to record for this project, and they will also be displayed on the global calendar. So from there is you have your jobs section. This is for all of the jobs you've created for your projects. You can view here, and all your quotes and invoices. So let's go into one here. Let's do Highlands. You see here we already have all the materials selected. So this was applied from template, and then you have the ability to either disable some items that aren't relevant. You can then enter, there's a calculated field here, which is based off of the quantity and price. So we'll probably have to change this field to something more generic. But in this case, for tile, you could put 546 square feet at $23 per unit, and that would give you 12,000. So really, they just wanted to have two fields that they can calculate to give an amount. So let's actually create one ourselves just to see how that works. So I'm going to add a new job here. New job. I don't have a drawing number, but what do we want to call this job? Let's call it a Clubhouse bathroom. And do we want to add? I do have a drawing, so let's just add one here. Create, and it's an active project. Perfect. Clubhouse bathroom. So we go into here. It's got no materials yet. We haven't created that. See here, we have the floor plan that I just uploaded. So am I able to view it? Fantastic. So see, that's tied to the actual project. So let's start adding materials here. So I could either add it manually and put, okay, we're going to need some tile. And I'm going to need 250 square feet at $8 a square foot, $2,000. Great. I could also apply a template, which they've provided, and this way at least they already have kind of preset list of materials that usually applies to most of the jobs, and they want to just be able to just load all of it and then just disable what it is that they don't need. So this way, really, they're not forgetting anything. They're just able to deactivate the materials that they don't require. So here's the generic template. You can obviously have more than one template. So if I go here, here's all of the items. So let's say for the clubhouse bathroom, you're going to need some tile. Let's add some Detra here because we're going to do some heated floors and some trim. Don't need a drain, mud bed. Let's just assume everything else we don't need, so we'll disable it. Fantastic. So now tile, let's assume it's, let's say it's 500 square feet at $12. And Detra, let's assume that these are panels. So we'll need 25 panels. It's actually a roll, but I'm not too sure what the pricing is. You know what? Let's go with 500 square feet at $15 square foot. And your trim, let's assume it's 8 boards at $15 a board. Okay, so now you have 13,620 is your amount. You can go ahead and save this. And there you go, saved. So I have, this is a beta version we've added here, where they had mentioned that they would like to just, when they're on the job site, be able to take measurements, but instead of writing them down, they just record themselves taking the measurements and be able to work off of that afterwards. So it did create, you either have manual entry where you can put in all of the measurements if you did write them down, or there's a voice capture. And this uses AI's whisper flow. And so you can just record yourself and then it'll transcribe what you've said. And with some smart AI features, it'll actually let you um, take the numbers that you put in, that you mentioned in your recording, and enter them in specific fields. So this is not fully complete, but I at least want to show you what was created. So let's do something here. Clubhouse bathroom floor area is 25 square feet by 12 square feet. See what it does. Transcribing audio. There you go. Clubhouse bathroom floor area is 25 square feet by 12 square feet. And it actually added it to the width, but it didn't add it anywhere else. So it wasn't able to calculate. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. Actually, it's also, you can replay your recordings. So worst case, you record yourself. You can play them back and do them manually also. I'm going to play this, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. I heard it on my end. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try another one. Re-record. Clubhouse bathroom floor is 12 square feet by 13 square feet. Okay, still only capturing one, right? Okay, we're going to give it, before we continue, I want to try this one more time. I'm going to say width and length. Clubhouse bathroom floor width is 12 feet and length is 14 feet. It's still not capturing, eh? Okay, well, anyway, you get an idea. It was able to at least take one of the measurements and add it in here. Pretty sure I can fix this afterwards. Change it to feet. Yeah, okay, this is very promising. Okay, so with that, we've created the job, added the materials. I think we're ready now to create a quote from that. So let's actually go into the quote section now. I think I'd probably do it from here. I'm not sure about this button. Let's find out. View project quotes. Okay, we have here your drawings. This is just your jobs. Okay, let's go to the quote section. I'm going to do a new quote. And which one was Highlands? So I could either do a quote for all of the jobs that I've created, but in this case, I only want to do Clubhouse bathroom. So create quote. Awesome. Okay, this is it. So client only wanted the high level job name. They didn't want to break down to the materials, just the name of the job and the amount. So this is what we have. Now you'll see here, convert to invoice is grayed out. That's because it's still in the draft version. But if you actually approve this, you'll see now you're able to convert to an invoice. But let's leave it as draft, because the first thing you want to do is send a quote to the customer. So based off what you said in your project details, this is the contact information that's preloaded, but you can send it to somebody else, CC them. You can change the subject, even the message. This is kind of the default message that we have automatically loaded, but we can change that. Probably even set up like a auto message in the settings if you want to change it. So let's go ahead and send this quote to Franklin. Perfect. So that was sent. Let's go check my email. There we go. Received it right here. So this is what it says, and it provides a PDF version of the quote. Let's open that up, and boom. Should probably add the taxes here, I'm guessing. But okay, this is good anyway. The quote worked. Let's assume it gets approved. So we could go back into the quote. Now approved and convert to invoice. So in this case, they have two companies that could be issuing the invoice. So we did set it up so that you can add more than one company and choose which one should be doing the invoicing. So let's go with Veloso Holdings. Okay, good. Taxes is showing. Let's create the invoice. This is what it looks like. And you see here again, we can just change who we want to invoice this to if we're not happy with the default contact details. Has their HST number. They can even change the issuing company here. And like they see like their HST number changed below here. Again, all of this could be reworked, but that's the starting point. You can print it. It's fantastic. So what can we do from here? Can I send this? I guess yeah, I just had to save it because I changed the issuing company. So let's go ahead and send this. Franklin, same person. Invoice sent. Beautiful. Let's go here and see if I received it. I did. Here's my message. Here's the PDF of the invoice. Great. So now, assuming that they've sent payment, can mark it as paid, can notify the client. Great. Even adds a little watermark, says paid. We could probably make that bigger, but so I make sure it worked. Did I get the notification? Payment received. Awesome. Oh, this different looking paid here. So probably move that down somewhere. But it does confirm that it's working, and that's what I care about. So that kind of covers from A to Z what is possible here. So let's look at the templates. This is where I can just create additional templates if maybe I just want to have one that has less items. I did create a settings page that for now is you can add additional companies for the invoicing, or if you want to add additional users that should have access to this estimator tool. But for now, this is all that I have set up, at least to kind of get this working. All right, so thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a good day.